Yeah, good evening everybody. As you can tell, my name's John, and I'm an undergraduate microbiologist at University of Dundee. So I'm really into all my bacterial species and fungal species and mushrooms and all these things that you find absolutely disgusting. I love them. But I also think I'm a pretty fun guy to be with. Okay, so if you laugh at that, you'll see me fucking easy. So I've been working in the lab throughout the summer in a genuine microbiology lab. It's been really good fun. And working in the lab, you really realise how many microbes are around you all the time, and bacteria. You're absolutely surrounded by them. And then in the lab, there's even more. I mean, there's a guy 2 doors down deliberately growing MRSA. It's quite frightening. And you find yourself washing your hands every 5 minutes, not only to protect your own health, but to protect the integrity of your own experiments, you know. So you get really quite anxious about these kind of things, you know. And looking out here tonight, looking at all these glass bottles sitting open, and not a Bunsen flame in sight, it's fucking atrocious. You guys have terrible aseptic technique. I just seen that guy there take a bottle to his mouth. Even you know him very well in the morning. So yeah, I've spent the summer growing bacteria and things, culturing bacteria, and you find yourself working really hard. You're up to all hours working really hard on your project and growing things, and you realise all of a sudden, it hits you like a smack in the face, you've not had anything to eat for hours and you're really hungry. And you're sitting at the bench, and next to you there's a big jar, and it's full of E. coli. You know, we call it a big jar of liquid. It's called a big broth culture, you know. And it looks horrible. It looks like a big jar of cloudy pee. And you take the lid off, and it smells like old ladies' farts. But you think to yourself, well, they call it broth culture for a reason. But so as I said, working in this microbiology lab, we're working in Professor Tracy Palmer's lab, who's really quite a distinguished microbiologist herself. She's always all over the world, been doing lectures and working with people. I mean, she's been to Brazil, Argentina, France, Italy. I mean, she's just back from Japan. You could say that she's a woman of many cultures. Come on. Yeah, so as you probably tell, I'm absolutely full of the terrible jokes. I'm quite famous for it amongst my friends. When I told my friend I was going to be doing Bright Club, he said to me, "Oh, that's going to be calling after you've done your set? Shite Club." So, yeah. But as I say, working on this project throughout the summer, and one morning I bumped into one of the girls. We've got some mathematicians on the team doing some modelling of the science that we're doing, and I bumped into this girl, and I said, "Oh, Rachel, how's your maths going? How's your, are you making some nice conclusions and things?" And she says, "Yeah, I'm really enjoying the project, but the thing I'm having bother with is getting numbers from biologists." And I said, "Rachel, honey, baby doll, you only needed to ask." So I wrote down my phone number for her. And I bumped into her the next day and I said, "Rachel, why didn't you call me?" And she said to me, "What are you talking about?" I meant, what are you talking about? I said, "You never called me. I gave you my phone number, yes, you never called." And she said, "Oh, I wanted numbers for my calculations and things, some data I wanted." And I thought, women, they're all the same. They're only interested in the shape of your bell-shaped curve. I really like that. But I realised I'd really gotten too far into this world of microbiology a couple of weeks ago when I was at the pub, and I was up at the bar, and this absolute stunner of a girl walked up next to me, and I was like, "Whoa, I fancy my chances here." And I looked at her and we made eye contact, and immediately there was chemistry there, and I was disappointed because I was hoping for a little bit of biology, if you know what I mean. And so I said, "Hey," and she returned the sentiment with words loaded with so much more than just hello. And I thought, I'm going to go in for the kill. I'm going to compliment this woman on her body. And I said, "Hey, did you know that within your body there are 10 times more bacterial cells than there are human cells?" I've not had a shower for a couple of days. Do you feel like a couple more? So yeah, and at this point she walked away for some reason, and I thought, it's not like I sort of tug on my flagellum or anything. It's one for the microbiologists. And yeah, so as you can tell, I have terrible skills with the women. And I sometimes wish that I myself was a bacteria, because then you can reproduce on your own. You know? And that's not something that I've ever been able to emulate. No matter how hard I try. Alone, at night, in my bedroom, babe station. I wouldn't recommend that one, it's terrible material. Yeah, so I also worked down at Dundee Science Centre. Yeah, so I went down to the Science Centre where I run into loads of really interesting people. So primarily I spend my time running around entertaining small children at birthday parties and things. And there was one morning I just started my shift, and I'm up and down running after these kids, getting down to their eye level and things. And there was this little girl, and she asked me something, so I come down to her eye level, so I'm down here, and I noticed, whoosh, trousers ripped as I bend down from arse right through to crotch. Oh shit. And I thought, well, I don't have any spare ones with me, so I'm just going to have to deal with it. Just have to forget about it, do my shift, whatever. So I went through my shift, and then towards the end of the day, I'd largely forgotten about it. I was doing this presentation, and in this show I've got a prop. It's a narwhal tusk. And for those of you who aren't already aware, a narwhal is basically some giant big whale with a huge tusk sticking out the front of his face. So I've got this narwhal tusk, and it's an amazing thing. It's huge, it's long, it's hard, it's ribbed. You could sit and you could stroke this thing all day. It feels amazing. So I go to present this narwhal tusk to a member of the audience, and I bend down, and I was absolutely throbbing with excitement at this point. And I bend down and I go and I say, this is the narwhal tusk. It's got, people used to sell these things and say they had magical healing properties. They'd make you live forever, they would say. And at this point I'm feeling, it's a bit weird. Feeling that breeze again. Right, between my bum cheeks. A little bit weird. There's mobility down there as well. I can feel stuff moving around. And I thought, well, I'll just forget about it. Nobody could have seen anything. So I get back up. And I go back doing things. Then this little girl, she puts her hand up. I said, oh, do you have a question? And she said, yes, me and my little brother just seen your horn. And it wasn't as impressive as that one. And I said, well, we've got lots of interesting exhibits on display at the Science Centre today, everyone, but that's not normally one of them. We're learning all sorts of unusual things today, aren't we? So yeah, that's what I spend my weekends doing. Exposing myself to small children. So I like to close with my favourite microbiology joke. So MRSA walks into a bar, or as you might have heard it, Staphylococcus aureus even, or as you might have heard it called, MRSA, walks into a bar and the barman says, get out of here, we don't serve filthy parasites like you in here. To which MRSA replies, well, you're not a very good host, are you? And besides, you can't throw me out anyway, I'm staff. Thank you very much, you've been excellent, thank you.